One of the most exciting aspects of eating in Southeast Asia is enjoying hawker's fare. Now, what is that? Well, that's dining in the street, eating food that is cooked before your eyes and to your taste. I'm Thomas Robson. This is Entree to Asia. So here we are at the Chowkit Market in downtown Kuala Lumpur. This is known as the best and the least expensive spice market and fresh food market in all of Malaysia. What's best here is that you can come to a fresh spice store and have the rempah, or the seasoning mix, the spices, prepared for you right in front of your eyes, adjusting the mix for the curries and the rendangs according to your family tastes and, of course, according to the tradition here at the Gani Spice Store. We're looking forward to seeing a rempah, a spice mixture, put together for ourselves right now. Okay, boss, what we're hoping to get is maybe a rempah for a chicken curry for about 3 chickens. A little bit of chili powder here, a good base. And this is ground coriander. Looks like about half the amount of the chili. Small amount of turmeric. And a little bit of ground cumin seed. In with a bit of ground poppy seed. These are white poppy seeds, ground. Some black pepper. A little bit of white pepper. And then some ground cinnamon stick. A little touch of the special house masala. In this bin there are more than 30 spices combined. That guarantees to give each rempah that comes from this store, each spice mixture, a unique taste of this store. Everywhere you get a little special touch. 200 grams right on the nose. Now there's 2 parts to making a rempah. The ground dry spices and then the whole solid spices. Here we're going to take a little bit of cinnamon stick. Quite a generous amount actually. And some whole cloves. Some cardamom pods, green cardamom. Some star anise. 150 grams. When preparing the recipe, the whole spices are fried first along with the onions, and then the ground dry spices are added a little bit later on to draw out their flavor. Sir,
welcome to Malaysia.
We thank you. My first stop is to get a little bit of the Chinese bitter herbs tea because it's going to give you the energy and whet the appetite for a long night's walking and dining amidst the hawker stalls. Hey. No problem. I'll take 1 bowl, please.
This one?
Yeah. You can get this stuff all over Southeast Asia. In fact, I first had it in Hong Kong. But there's nothing quite like it to get your energy going, and it's better for you than coffee. Wow, it's bitter, it's bitter. You have some syrup? Hi. Small bowl, asam laksa. Okay, so here you have a wonderful bowl full of delicious rice noodle and fish and a tamarind broth. Fresh herbs, lots of spicy flavors. I've been here before. This is one of my favorite stands of all. The best part, thank you very much, the best part is the fresh mint on top. I'm just going to move out of the way because sooner or later some customer is going to bump me and I'll spill. If you really want to adventure in Asia, you got to eat street side, and sometimes it's just the best. Assam laksa, a very strong tamarind flavor, very light flavor of fish, incredibly fresh and delicious. Hi, I'll take soybean milk, please. Can you give me the brown? Thanks a lot. So, you know, after a nice spicy bowl of noodles, you just might want to enjoy an ice-cold glass of sesame milk. Thank you, sir. With a little bit of the brown sugar, the gula melaka, give it a nice, robust flavor. In this heat, the soybean milk is so refreshing, you have no idea. Well, it's a beautiful night in KL. So much good food, so much fun to be had. Well, Kuala Lumpur's Chinatown is really a great place, both for eating and for shopping. You'll have a heck of a lot of fun here. Right now, though, we're going to head off to Jalan Alo, which is a very small, not so well-known street full of traditional Malaysian hawker food. As you'll see, it's different from Chinatown and very, very delicious. So come on, let's go. Here we are at Jalan Alo. This is a small street and it's loaded with hawker stalls. We're looking for typical Malaysian food. But what seems most typical about Malaysia is food comes from everywhere. We're going to have food that's influenced by China, by India, by all the other major Southeast Asian culinary traditions. The best part is it's all delicious and it's inexpensive. We're going to have a fun, fun time. We're about to enjoy one of the best specialties on the entire street, Ikan Bakar. Now let's sort of have a look at what this means. Ikan means fish. Pari, in this case, means stingray. Bakar means burned. But the fish isn't really burned. It's wrapped in between banana leaf, a little seasoning, and then it hits a hot, hot grill. So it's kind of a grilled stingray with a banana leaf aroma, and it's incredibly delicious. OK 啦，唔該晒。Delicious. You might want to enjoy a nice fresh young coconut juice along with it. Pleasant sweetness to balance the slight heat. Grilled flavor is the best barbecue I've had in ages. So now, here we are in front of a very traditional Cantonese kind of stand where they're preparing what we know as lop chong gai pan, which means a Chinese sausage, chicken in a clay pot with rice. Look at that, it's beautiful. Rice, chicken, sausage, a meal in one pot. And what happens is on the bottom, the rice burns a little bit and this smoky, delicious aroma comes up. So if you ever have it, it's burned on the bottom. Don't complain, smile and enjoy. So maybe if you've had a hard night out on the town and you need something just to smooth your stomach down a little bit, you might want to consider a nice hot bowl of rice porridge. In this case, made with fresh frog's legs. A little exceptional, a little exotic, you bet.
One person has got 3 frogs. Say bao.
Porridge is served piping hot. Hot. Okay, well, we've had some great snacks up till now. We've worked our way all along the length of Jalan Alo, and to sort of cap off the evening, we're going to have a plate of Nasi lemak. And it's a wonderful sort of, you choose, you eat what you want, it comes with rice. So let's have a good look at the window and we'll choose some delicious food to go with the rice. Okay lah. I'll have ikan bilis. Kari ayam. A little bit, that's good. Sauce lah?
Sauce.
Take some budgies. No, thank you. Cucumber. And what's that on the end?
Potato.
Potato in the coconut milk?
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay lah. You have a little sambal belacan? No, eat like this, eh? Oh, okay, I'll try that. A little sambal goes beside the dish, helps spice things up when you find it's a little bit too mild. Great. Chanti. And when you're eating hawker style in KL, don't worry, sit down any table. You can bring fruit from other stands as well. There's an interesting history behind Nasi lemak. Used to be when a young couple got married, about 12 days after the wedding was done, the mother of the groom would present a dish of Nasi lemak to the mother of the bride. And traditionally it was to symbolize that the bride had been a virgin. But nowadays it's more about we're accepting the bride into our family. In any case, you can enjoy Nasi lemak in many different restaurants and food centers all over KL. But I think the best really has to be here at the end of the road on Jalan Alo. Of all the great food that you can enjoy on Jalan Alo, well, I think the Ikan Bakar, or the fish cooked in banana leaves, is not only one of the most delicious, but also one of the easiest to reproduce at home. It's pretty straightforward in its preparation. The beginning part is making a sambal, or a seasoning paste, to go along with the cooking process, to give it that particular taste. I've already begun here, and I've been pounding some lovely red chilies, nice and plump. I've used about 6 or 7 of these. It's up to you, seeds in or seeds out. If you want it hot, leave those seeds in. And I've pounded them down quite nicely in the mortar and pestle. You could use a small grinder, electric or whatnot, to do that at home. The next ingredient in our sambal is some galanga root. Now I'm going to throw in some diced up galanga and some lemongrass, also very finely cut up. Okay, we'll pound this up for a moment. Then I'm going to add some shallot onion. These are not green onions, these are the nice little red onions. They're tiny, they got a lovely brown skin and a sweet flavor, and they're very, very typical in Southeast Asian cooking. You could substitute regular red onion though. Add some garlic. The amounts aren't really important. Just combine these aromatic ingredients, make a fair amount of the paste, and if you think you want it more garlicky, well then by all means, use more garlic. If you don't like lemongrass, leave it out. This is all about how Southeast Asian cooks design their own food and make their own taste. In other words, adding our own touch. As long as you have a mortar and pestle or something to grind in, you're set for making all kinds of pastes. Now I like a rustic touch, so I'm going to leave my paste fairly coarse. I'm going to take some Malay shrimp paste. Now Malay shrimp paste has a wonderfully strong aroma, and it's important when using it for dishes like this to take a piece, and look at that, that's a solid tablespoon and a half, and to toast it in a dry pan. If you want to, you can wrap it with aluminum foil and then put it in a dry pan if you don't like the aroma too much. But really, I think you're just trying to fight with the inevitable at that point. Maybe the first time you smell it, it'll be like, ooh, strong cheese. But after you get used to the flavor, and that doesn't take long at all, you'll see why it's so popular an ingredient. We're going to toast it on this side. We're going to toast it on that side. I'll do a little bit more pounding while that happens. And actually, that reminds me, I have some other ingredients to get ready. I'm going to need a little bit of oil. As you probably know by now, I like to use peanut oil. Any vegetable oil will do. And we're going to take all the sambal ingredients and we're going to cook them in just a moment here. Okay, that's looking great for the shrimp paste. So in it goes, into the pan. I'm going to keep the pan warm. Carefully, I'm going to incorporate this shrimp paste into my sambal. And that won't take long at all. Get out my knife, I'll need that in a moment. In goes some oil into my handy pan. Now, the oil is an important part of the seasoning. In effect, we're making a sauce. So don't be too shy on the oil. You won't have to use much of the sauce, so don't worry about making a dish, or don't be too concerned, in other words, about the fat content of this right now, because you'll only be using a bit of the sambal to season the fish. There we go. I'll just put this right back here. What's happening here is all the aromatic flavors from our sambal paste ingredients are being trapped by this oil. So we're keeping them in place. We're not letting them boil away because they're volatile, and what that means is all the flavor oils will boil away and simply evaporate. For instance, if we put them in some water and boiled them, they'd go away very, very quickly. If we cook slower, well, they might stay around for a while. Eventually they go away. This frying step ensures that they stay where we want them, in contact with the food that we're going to eat. We'll let this continue to simmer for a moment here. Really just sort of a slow saute. And we're going to look at the kind of fish we want to cook in the banana leaf. Well, I have some pomfret here. Pomfret is a beautiful kind of fish, very sweet tasting, and quite available, especially in neighborhoods where Latin American markets are fairly predominant, as well as, of course, Southeast Asian markets. Just going to trim the fins a little bit, get them out of the way. And for this, you don't have to be a professional fishmonger. I just work with some good shears. We'll make a point of trimming the tail. Why not make it attractive here? We'll cut on an angle. That's nice. And then, so the flavors can penetrate from our sambal, I'm going to just score the fish, and I'm not really cutting deep. I'm not cutting all the way to the bone. Just score the fish on both sides. Of course, there's the fin over here to be removed as well. 1, 2, 3 cuts. And then we'll take our banana leaf. Put the fish on this side. Take a handy spoon, turn off the heat, and take some of our sambal. I said I was going to season the fish. Well, let's start off with some of our sambal. I'm using a slotted spoon here, so there's a good idea. We've got enough oil mixed in with our sambal ingredients already to carry the flavor. By leaving some of that oil behind in the pan, we're saving, from a nutritional point of view, especially from a dietary concern, we're keeping that oil away. Now, let's get this off of there. The fish on top of that, and now more sambal ingredients. Let's get them on there right away. Enough to cover the fish over quite generously. We're off to a good start here. Now there's other kinds of seasoning pastes available that you can substitute for a homemade sambal, and they'll give you excellent results. From this point, it's all downhill. Very, very easy, very simple. We're going to take this wonderful parcel of pomfret with a homemade sambal, and we're going to lay it right into a hot pan. And this is the Ikan Bakar approach to cooking fish. Ikan means fish, and bakar means to burn. So there's a little subtle play on words here, because what gets scorched is the banana leaf, and it's the smell and the flavor of scorched and slightly burned banana leaf that gives the dish its telltale flavor.
Day 11. I've been back to this night market I don't know how many times, and it never ceases to amaze me. You could furnish your entire kitchen and wardrobe in just one night, walking back and forth amongst the stalls. Everything's a bargain, and everything's negotiable. It wasn't so long ago that stalls such as these contained knockoff watches and counterfeit CDs, video, and software, all at rock-bottom prices. A real steal. And steal is the key word. Cheap though these items may have been, they were also very illegal, pirated copies of the real thing. There has been a crackdown in recent times on the counterfeit merchandise, and it seems to be having a positive effect. More and more people are traveling to the night market for the food. And that's real authentic.
What I've done is I've turned the pomfret over in the banana leaf, and something that I really want to point out to you is that if you find your pan is a little too hot, well, simply insert another little piece of banana leaf. See, look, I let this get nice and smoky and scorched. Well, I simply covered it with an extra bit of banana leaf, and that does a world of good. Here we are. The dish is now ready. Let's serve it up in the traditional style. Ikan Bakar. Note how this lovely scorched appearance brings the dish together. This is the taste of the hawker fare on Jalan Alo in Kuala Lumpur. We've enjoyed great hawker fare throughout Southeast Asia, but in my opinion, some of the very best was in Kuala Lumpur on Jalan Alo. There you could experience all the traditional flavors, all the great variety, and as well the excitement of real street-side dining, the old-fashioned way. More hawker fare to come on Entree to Asia. I'm Thomas Robson.
To find out more about Entree to Asia, including recipes and program descriptions, visit our website at www.entreetoasia.com.